Hi everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Gina Bug. Today we're going to be doing a bell pepper. It's going to be stuffed. We're going to need sausage, any kind of sausage. I'm going to use the Little Smokies, and 5 grape tomatoes, and I've got cheese, mozzarella, ranch, half an onion, a garlic clove, and we've got some seasoning here, which we're going to go over in just a few minutes. The butter, and beef stroganoff, some Worcestershire sauce, white vinegar, horseradish, and celery salt. So let's get to cooking. Okay, what I've done here is I've taken 3 strips of bacon, and I have put the Worcestershire sauce, which you can get on Amazon, and the Zydeco chop you can get on Amazon. I've just sprinkled on top of it, and a little bit of butter. I put it on 3 strips of bacon. Can everyone see that? And I'm going to put this into the microwave. Do not put a napkin. I know everyone is tempted to put a napkin under it, but you want the bacon grease. So we're going to put this into the microwave, and we're going to cover it. For 3 minutes. While that's cooking, we're going to cut our bell pepper. Now, mine is kind of wimpy, but this is all I could get right now. We're going to cut the top. Make sure your top is cut 2 inches. And if you don't know what 2 inches is, just take your fingers. So about right here. You want a nice top on it to cover it. And then you want to keep this part just like that. You want to keep that. And then you want to cut the center out of your bell pepper. So it looks like this. You can get the middle out of it, which I call meat. You can get your meat out of there. So it looks like this. And then you want to make sure you keep all these peppers right here are wonderful. So you want to just kind of move your hands around. They're going to fall off. You want to keep those. Just like that. That's really important to your bell pepper. It gives it a little zing. See all the peppers I got off that? So we're going to move those over to the side. Put this away. Okay, and then we're going to take our weenies. Little Smokies or cocktail weenies is what they're called in the grocery stores. I've gotten 5 of them, and I'm going to cut them down. For 1 bell pepper, you don't need more than 5. If you're going to use sausage, I would use like just a handful, or glop as I call it, of sausage. I'm going to cut my little weenies down just like this. We want them tiny, so I'm just going to keep chopping them down. Small as I can get them, because we don't want big chunks of sausage in there. And this really gives it a good taste. That's the reason I like Little Smokies, is because it gives it a really good taste into your bell pepper. And I just keep chopping them down. If y'all didn't get the video before this one on the heart-shaped weenie, you need to go to it and look at it. It was really great. can surprise somebody with a heart-shaped weenie. Okay, and we're going to take our seeds and we're going to put it into, kind of mix it around into our sausage. All right, our bacon, it says it's done. Let's see. Yep, it's done. And that's hot, so let me get something to get it out with. All right, you want this grease. Do not lose your grease. So all that grease from the bacon you want to keep. I'm going to set it right here and let it cool off while we chop up the rest of it. Just 3 strips is enough for 1 bell pepper. And then we're going to do our tomatoes. We're just going to cut our tomatoes like we did our weenies. Don't lose any of your tomato though. If you're doing 1 big tomato, I would just do half of 1. If you don't have the grape tomatoes, you can use 1 big tomato. I know tomatoes are about to be in season, so people are going to be making their own tomatoes, and just use half of 1. It'll work for this. And you just want to make sure they're just, mix it all together, just like this. Make sure it's all cut up really good. I like my stuff small. So we're going to make sure it's all mixed together. And the tomato juice will get into the weenie and it'll be really good. The smoked weenie will be good. Okay? Alright, and that's the way it should look. Just like that. Alright, then you're going to take your onion. Alright, we're only going to need half this onion, so I'm just going to cut half of it and put this away. This is half of a half, actually. Take the top off of it. And we're going to cut it. And cut it again. Okay, and then we're going to mix it into our stuff, and we're going to cut it again. Kind of mix it in, get the onion flavor into everything. The more you cut vegetables and onions, tomatoes, or whatever, the better they taste with your other food. So got all this cut up together. Okay. All right, and that's what it should look like. This right here is about $2. $2 at the grocery store. So we're going to take our bell pepper and we're going to start with the cheese. I've got just a pack of regular cheese, cheddar cheese, and mixed cheese, mozzarella. We're going to put it on the bottom. That's what you're going to do. Put it on the bottom. Then you're going to take your horseradish. This is horseradish mustard, and we're going to put it over the cheese. Just cover the bottom really good, like this. Okay, and then you're going to take your vinegar and you're going to put over the horseradish. Really good. Okay, and then you're going to take your beef stroganoff. I got this at Kroger. It was $1. So you don't have to use beef stroganoff. You can use, this is my favorite, but you can use turkey gravy or chicken gravy or chicken broth, anything you want to that makes a mixture that you want to add, and you can add flour to it or whatever. I'm just lazy, so I just get the beef stroganoff. You're just going to add half the pack, and you're going to add your Zydeco Chop Chop, which you can get on Amazon. You're going to add just a tiny bit of it to it. I mean, like 4 sprinkles. And your celery salt. Just a sprinkle or 2. Not even a whole teaspoon. Okay? And then you're going to add just a tiny bit of water to it. Maybe maybe a half a teaspoon, just enough to wet it down, just like that. Just put it under the sprinkler. I'm going to stir this together. See, just like that. And you want it to keep that thickness. See how that's thick? You want that. I know we usually don't. We want it to be a little watery, but you want this thickness like this. Just like that. And that is going to go on top of the vinegar. You want to just scoop it out. When you get done, you should have about 3 or 2.5 teaspoons of thickness if you used half a bag. If you're using your own flour, just don't over flour it. So you get that thickness in there like that. You want it as thick as you can get it to cover it. And you want to take it and you want to move it around the sides because it's real thick, so you can. The sides of the bell pepper like that. You just want to move it to the sides. So just like that. If you run it over like I did, just put it back in there. There you go, just like that. Okay? And then you want to take your onions, your tomatoes, and your weenies, and you want to start putting it in there and pressing it down. You want to press it down. Put it in there and press it down. Just like this. You want to press it down. As much as you can press it without breaking the bell pepper. That's what you want to do. See, I've done just enough, but I've done a lot of these, so I knew just about how much to put in there. But that's what it should look like. It should be pressed down just like that. Then you want to take your butter. If you're not using liquid butter and you're using regular butter, you want to use maybe half a stick melted. Half a stick melted. And you just want to put it over the top of that. And then the last thing is going to be your garlic that goes in there. You want to take your garlic. I use half of a garlic clove. That's what we're going to do. Okay, and we're going to mash it just like this so we can get the sides off of it. Just like that. Mash this garlic, get the sides off of it. This takes a minute. Sometimes it gets aggravating, but it'll eventually come out. Okay, there we go. Okay, and we got one more. I'm gonna mash it. Sides come off of it. There we go. And we're gonna chop this up. This garlic, I used half of a clove. That's all I used, is half of a clove. And we're gonna chop this up. And then we're going to put this on top of our bell pepper at the very top. Make sure your garlic is always at the top above your meat. Do not put garlic under your meat. People make that mistake. Your garlic always needs to be on top. That way it drips down into your meat and into your other seasoning, because garlic is very strong. So if you put it on the bottom, it's not going to season anything else. So. Okay. All right, we're going to put this on top. So I always put it last before my my mozzarella cheese, because I want it, I love garlic, so I want it to be in there on the very top. And the last thing is 1 tablespoon full of ranch dressing. You just want to lay on. And the reason you just kind of want to mix it around. The reason you want this is because it makes a coating on the top, and that way your cheese does not burn. Mozzarella, your mozzarella that you're going to put on the top of this will not burn if you put that ranch. And you can use mayonnaise too. Mayonnaise is just good. So we're going to take a mozzarella, 1 tablespoon of mozzarella. I'm going to put it on the top. Put it just like this. And it's perfect for this one. So, and this is just added thing that I like to do before I put it into my tin foil, is I like to take olive oil, and which I have olive oil with rosemary, and I like to take it and rub the outside of the bell pepper with it, just like this. I've got mine everywhere, but that's okay. I'll use it. Anyway, if you do that, it doesn't burn at the top or bottom. It stays moist. So that's what we want to do. And then we're going to put our top on it, and we're going to put it in the oven. Okay, here's our top. Make sure you keep your top. Line it back up the way that it was cut, if you can. There we go. All right, I have got a little cast iron plate with the tin foil in it to wrap it up. So I am going to take a string of my rosemary that I got from my rosemary bush, and I'm just going to unstring it. You don't have to do this, but if you have rosemary, it is really good. And I've soaked mine in olive oil. It's gonna be good. And then I sit this on top of it. And all you need to do is do 4 corners. 4 corners. That's all you need to do. See that? That's all you need to do. And then we're going to cook it for, you cook this for about 35 minutes on 375. Preheat your oven while you're doing all this, and do not put it in there while your oven is preheating. Make sure that your oven is already preheated. And mine is. So I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to set my timer. My timer for 35 minutes. There we go. I'll see you back in 35. All right, everyone, we've been cooking for 35 minutes. My timer went off, so I'm gonna pull it out. Woo, it looks good. Bring it over here to our hot plate. I'm gonna open it up, and it's very hot, so don't burn your fingers like I always do. We're gonna take the top off of it. Put it over here. All right, you remember that bacon that we did at the first of the show? Okay, it should be nice and seasoned with all the grease and everything by now. We're going to take it and move it over here to our cutting board, and we're going to cut it just like this. Make sure you keep all the grease. Bacon grease is good for everything. Green beans, cabbage, peas. I use bacon grease on everything. Okay. When in doubt, just use bacon. All right, we're going to cut it up. 3 strips that we did the first. Okay, I'm going to take anything that I can get, all of this right here, and I'm going to throw it into my bell pepper. Any bacon grease I got out of my bacon. And then I'm going to take this, put that right there. I'm going to put it into my bell pepper. You want to do this last. Put it on the very top and leave it open with no top. Leave it open, just like this. And then we're going to use, let me wash my hands. My dog is scared of the weather, so she's laying right here under my feet because she's terrified of thunder and lightning. We're going to use the salt the top. I'm going to pepper the top. You're not going to put the 4 corners like I showed you before. We're going to leave it open, just like this. We're going to put it back into the oven, just like this. and we're going to put it on 10 minutes. But we're going to, instead of bake, we're going to switch it to broil at 350. So let me get down to 350 on broil. And we're going to start, and we're going to set our timer for 12 minutes. And that's it. As soon as the 12 minutes is up, we're going to set our top back on it, and it's going to be a nice stuffed bell pepper. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. See you back in about 11 minutes. Okay. Our timers just went off after we put our bacon. I'm going to cut it off. Bring it out. Woo, that looks so good. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good. And we're going to take our top that we took off. We're going to put it back on there. I always take my middle out when I put it back on there. I mean, you can't eat that. So, you can take that off. And then I'm going to take it, and it's really hot, so be really careful. I'm going to get my spatula. Take it out. Be careful not burn yourself, because these bell peppers are really hot after you've cooked them, especially on broil. I'm going to put it over here. And I am going, and all my, you see my rosemary that's at the bottom? I don't want that necessarily. I just wanted it cooked into what I was cooking. Then I'm going to take my cream cheese. Stir it around. Cream cheese is really a good thing to have with bell pepper. And I'm going to add my cream cheese to the top like this. Why it's hot? Because it'll melt. After you've taken, don't take this off until you get done. I'm going to put my cream cheese on the top of it, just like that, and let it melt down. And that's what it looks like. Look how beautiful. And your cream cheese is going to continue to melt down because your bell pepper is going to be so hot. And see, I have the rosemary on the bottom of mine and the different flakes of different things we've added. But look how beautiful that is. It looks gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining Cooking with Gina Bug. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and follow me if you like the stuffed bell pepper, and to support our page so we can continue to do this. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Thanks for watching Cooking with Gina Bug. Please be sure to follow so you don't miss out on any new videos.